Hey guys, it's Miss Creamford here. Today we're going to talk about steps to order rational numbers. So, rational numbers, if you remember, are numbers that are parts of a whole. They are fractions, decimals, and percents. And on your question, most of the time, they are wanting you to put them in order. So the first thing that you need to do when you're working these problems out is find out which order are they wanting you to put the numbers in. So is it from least to greatest or ascending? These mean the same thing. They mean from going from the lowest to the highest. Or is it greatest to least or in descending order, which is the same thing as greatest to least. It is going from the highest and going to the lower. So step 2, are the numbers in the same form? I can tell you in 6th grade, most of the numbers will not be in the same form. They will not all be fractions. They will not all be decimals. They will not all be percents. And so we want to pick one form and convert the numbers to the same form because that's really the only way we can compare and see which one is greater, which one is less. Even with fractions, if they're all fractions, remember that they still need to have the same denominator or you will not be able to tell which one's greater or least as well. So for me, I like to put them all in decimals. If I'm going to go ahead and do all the work to find a common denominator, then I might as well just go ahead and convert it to decimals. And so when we work out a problem today, that's what we will do. And step 3 is just to work the problem out. So we're going to work through one together. I'm going to move my paper up. Okay, so we're going to work this problem. Which list shows the numbers in order from least to greatest? Now, I know a lot of you like to highlight these or circle them. Just make sure that you are remembering why you circled them. Make sure you're using these strategies and you're not just doing it out of, habit, that you're actually using these strategies and using these circles to remind you of something. I like to do this. This asked me to do least to greatest. So I'm going to put that there so I'm reminded. So the numbers we have are negative 2/5, negative 2 47/100, negative 2.5, a 5, and 21/4. So a couple of these are really simple. I mean, 5 doesn't even have to be converted as far as it being a decimal. A whole number is just, that's how the decimal looks. So we have 5, negative 2/5. Okay, well, 2/5 is a benchmark fraction. So 1/5 would be 2/10, and 2/5 would be 4/10. So, but it's a negative 4/10. And right now, these are not in order. I'm just working them, converting them. Negative 2 47/100, that is already in a decimal. Two and a half. Well, the half is already, that's a benchmark fraction as well. And so that's going to be 5/10. So it's going to be negative 2 5/10. And lastly is 21/4. Well, we know to convert it to a decimal, we need to put the numerator in the house. So we're going to take 21 and divide it by 4. 4 can go into 21 5 times, which equals 20. Subtract. 4 cannot go into 1, so we're going to add a decimal. Add a 0. 4 can go into 10. 2 times, that's 8. And that's 2. Add another 0. 4 can go into 20 5 times. So this one would be 5 and 25/100ths. Okay, so if we're thinking about a number line, which number would go to the furthest left? Because left is less. So if we had a number line, negative 2 5/10 would be at the furthest left out of all these numbers. Close to it would be 2 and 4, negative 2 and 47/100ths. Then we would have negative 4/10. Then we would have 5 and 5 and 25/100ths. That's our least to greatest. But remember that we have to remember what the original form is, because they're going to have these converted back into the original numbers, the original forms. So negative 2 and 5/10 was negative 2 1/2. So which one starts with negative 2 1/2? Okay, that's these two, so we're going to cross these off. Then negative 2 and 47/100ths, okay, both of them. Then negative 4/10, both of them. Then 5. Oh, so here's our answer. So when you work out your problems, I really want to see all this work. I want to see the converting. I want to see the number line. I want to see how you figured this out, okay? So please make sure that as you're working on your papers that you are showing your work to me. Thanks, and we'll talk soon.